$15,015. That's what one Australian buyer lost on a ute that cost less than $27,000 brand new. Not written off, not crashed. Just resold 5 years later for less than half what they paid. Here's the sentence that should scare you. Some of Australia's most trusted ute badges are quietly costing owners more than the ones everyone already assumes are risky. A Perth tradie bought his ute in 2018, kept it serviced, kept it clean, did everything right. 5 years later, a dealer offered him under $12,000 for a vehicle he paid $27,000 for. He wasn't ripped off. That's just what the market decided it was worth. I'm Mark Petrelli. 15 years as an auction house valuer, standing on the block, watching utes cross under the hammer for a fraction of what the owner still owed on them. That's not a dramatic headline for me, mate. That's just a Tuesday. If you watched my last video on hidden dealer fees, you already know I don't sugarcoat numbers, and I'm not about to start now. Everything in this video is pulled from VFACTS sales data, published resale guides, and dealer trade-in reports, cross-checked where I could. No badge loyalty here. I've valued too many of these vehicles at auction to have a favorite. If that's useful to you, genuinely hit subscribe. I put these out because I get asked constantly in the comments which ute actually holds its value, and most of the answers online are guesswork. Right, let's get into it. Coming in at number 12, the Mazda BT50. It shares its bones with a much more trusted Japanese ute, but it doesn't share the resale confidence. Base 4x2 variants are retaining only around 63% of their value at 18 months. Let me put that in plain language. Buy the wrong trim level, and you're losing almost 40% before your first big service. Number 11 is the Nissan Navara. Solid vehicle underneath, but the market just doesn't trust it the way it trusts its rivals. The base ST diesel auto goes from around $47,200 new down to about $29,600 on resale. That's roughly $18,000 gone. Would you sign up for that knowing it up front? I wouldn't. Up next, number 10, the Volkswagen Amarok, specifically the older 6-cylinder generation. This one's almost funny if it wasn't so expensive. In 2018, you could get a 4.5-liter V8 manual for around $71,700. Today's version is a 2.8-liter 4-cylinder automatic, and it costs more, around $79,800. Less engine, higher price, and the older V6 models are copying depreciation on a drivetrain that's already been discontinued. Number 9 is the Mitsubishi Triton, the pre-2024 model specifically. The flagship GSR trim lost $14,790 top and 30% of its value in 5 years. And here's the twist. It's now being undercut by more than $10,000 on similar spec by a Chinese rival. When the new car price gap gets that wide, resale values get squeezed from both directions. Number 8, and this one's going to annoy a few of you, the Toyota HiLux. Not the SR5, the base workmate and manual variants. The nameplate has arguably the best reputation of any ute in this country. Genuinely, it does. But that halo doesn't extend evenly across every trim. Buyers assume it's a HiLux. It'll hold its value, tick the box on the cheapest one, and get a very different resale outcome to their mate in the SR5. Quick favor before we hit the top 7. If this is genuinely useful, give the like button a tap. The top picks on this list are where the real money disappears, and I want the algorithm to push this to as many Aussies as possible before they sign a contract. Cheers. On we go. Number 7 is the GWM Cannon, and this one's genuinely contested. I want to be upfront about that. One report last year ranked the older generation GWM Ute as the best value retainer in the whole segment. But newer buying guides published this year show the Cannon holding on to only around 55 to 60% of its value after 3 years, trailing well behind Japanese rivals. Reports disagree, Buyer beware. Number 6. The LDV T60. This one had one of the biggest new price hikes in the entire segment, jumping from around $36,800 up to $47,900, and yet it still lost over $17,000, 46% down in 5 years. A higher sticker price with a worse depreciation outcome is about as bad as it gets. Number 5. The GWM Ute, sometimes still badged Great Wall Steed on the older budget models. This is the sharpest percentage collapse I found anywhere in this research. $15,015 lost, 55% of its value, gone in 5 years, on a vehicle that only cost $26,990 to begin with. Now numbers 4, 3 and 2 are a different kind of risk entirely, and I want to explain why they're grouped together. None of these three have 5-year resale data yet. They're too new. But the early warning signs are already there. And by some industry estimates, the used market hasn't priced that risk in properly. Number 4, the Ford Ranger plug-in hybrid, only arriving in Australian showrooms later this year. Genuinely no track record to judge it on. Buying one right now means being comfortable being first. Number 3, the GWM Cannon Alpha plug-in hybrid. Same story, brand new to market, and analysts are already flagging battery degradation as a resale concern the used market hasn't grappled with yet. Number 2, the BYD Shark 6. It's been genuinely impressive on paper and sold well early. But it's a plug-in hybrid ute with 0 5-year resale history in this country, and every early adopter buying one right now is, whether they realize it or not, doing the market's depreciation research for everyone else. Here's the maths that doesn't work for any of these three. You're paying a premium for genuinely new technology, and nobody, not the dealer, not the finance company, not me, can tell you honestly what it'll be worth in 5 years. That's not a criticism of the vehicles, it's a documented gap in the data. And topping the list at number 1, the Isuzu D-Max, specifically the LSM mid-spec. I know, some of you are already annoyed at me for this one. Stick with it. At the brand level, Isuzu has one of the strongest reputations in this entire segment. Fleet-favored, dependable, no nonsense. That reputation is genuinely earned. But reputation and resale outcome are two different things, and that's exactly the gap this vehicle falls into. At the product level, the LSM was bought new in 2018 for around $49,000. Today it's averaging just $35,050 on resale, against a current sticker price of $55,300. That's $20,250 gone. Not a percentage trick. A documented, real dollar loss. The single biggest one in this entire list. There's no major recall or regulator action driving this one, and I'm not going to invent one just to fill a slot. This isn't a scandal. It's something more uncomfortable than a scandal. It's just quiet, ordinary market behavior that nobody warns you about. On the support side, Isuzu's dealer network and parts access across Australia is genuinely excellent, which makes this even harder to explain away. It's not a servicing problem. It's not an availability problem. It's simply that the used market has decided this vehicle isn't worth what buyers assumed it would be. Put all of that together, and here's the picture. A trusted badge, a strong dealer network, a dependable reputation, and still the biggest raw dollar loss on the entire list. Bigger than the GWM Ute. Bigger than the LDV T60. Bigger than the Utes Australians are conditioned to be suspicious of. If you're currently looking at a D-Max LSM, or you already own one, go and check the current trade-in value against what you paid today before you make any decision based on assumption. You are now the informed buyer, who knows something most Australians walking into a showroom today do not. So there they are. 12. The BT50, borrowed bones, weaker resale. 11. The Navara, solid ute, soft numbers. 10. The Amarok, less engine for more money. 9. The Triton, undercut and unloved. 8. The base HiLux, reputation that doesn't transfer. 7. The Cannon, contested and inconsistent. 6. The T60, a price hike that backfired. 5. The GWM Ute, the sharpest percentage drop of them all. 4. 3 and 2. The new plug-in hybrids, guinea pigs with no history. And 1. The D-Max, a trusted name with the biggest dollar loss on the list. My honest takeaway, and it's the same one I always give: none of these Utes are evil in themselves. Every single one of them can be a genuinely good buy, at the right price, for the right buyer, going in with open eyes. Informed buyers always win in this market. Uninformed ones fund the depreciation for everyone else. Remember, under Australian consumer law, you're entitled to a vehicle that's fit for purpose and matches its description, and that protection doesn't disappear just because a car is a few years old. So here's the one actionable thing I genuinely leave you with. Before you buy or trade in anything on this list, look up its actual current resale figures, not what you assume they'll be.